Sam Bankman-Fried is back in court. Here's everything you should know. The founder of defunct crypto exchange FTX SBF made an appearance in court on February 21st. The court's hearing took place in order to address a potential conflict of interest that could arise following SBF's decision to change his lawyers ahead of his March 28 sentencing. He's getting sentenced next month. Woo! Sam Bankman-Fried chooses to stick with new lawyers. According to a report by Daily Mail, Sam Bankman-Fried told Judge Lewis Kaplan that he would stick with his new lawyers despite the conflict of interest on the part of his new lawyers. Mark Mukasey and Torrey Young had both entered an appearance on January 9th to represent SBF, signaling the substitution of the FTX founded defense team led by Mark Cohen. Bankman-Fried's decision to appoint Mukasey and Young as his lawyers led the prosecution to request a Curcio hearing so that the defendant may knowingly waive any conflict that could arise. In line with this, Judge Kaplan during the hearing asked the FTX founder if he was comfortable with his new counsels representing him despite the conflict of interest. In response, SBF confirmed that he was aware of the possible conflict of interest and stated that he was comfortable with the lawyers representing him. Why? Why is he comfortable with that? Judge Kaplan went as far as asking the defendant to describe the conflict in his own words just to ensure that he understood the issue at hand well, which Bankman-Fried is reported to have described succinctly. The steps taken by the judge were necessary as every defendant has the right to a conflict-free legal representation. Moreover, this could potentially become an issue if SBF's case goes on appeal, as he could argue that he was not well represented during his sentencing due to the conflict of interest. Interestingly, SBF all but confirmed that he was going to appeal his conviction. During the hearing, he mentioned that he had consulted with Alexandra Shapiro, the lawyer who will handle his appeal, what the possible conflict of interest is about. For those of you who don't know why he has a conflict of interest, here it is. Mukasey and Young also happen to be the defense attorneys for Alex Machinsky, the former CEO of bankrupt crypto lender Celsius. As noted by the prosecution, there is a possible conflict of interest due to the intricate relationship between Bankman-Fried's Alameda Research and Machinsky's Celsius. Celsius happened to have lent money to Alameda Research while the trading firm used FTX customer funds to repay some of these loans. Machinsky also seems to have blamed Alameda Research and SBF by extension for contributing to Celsius' collapse. As such, there is a possibility that the lawyers may be compromised while representing either party. So for those of you who don't know how SBF was able to steal and his lackeys were able to steal crypto from people who had purchased crypto without them knowing, it's because on the FTX website is a number. That number represents the amount of crypto that you think you have. What they were actually doing is then they were getting the actual crypto that you have and using that to pay other people. So when you went to withdraw your money, they would use other people's money to pay you. But if everybody at once is withdrawing their money, suddenly everybody will realize that the number of crypto that they thought they had is not actually true. The number of crypto that they thought they had was just a number on a screen. Just like with your bank accounts. The number you think you have is not actually what you have until you go and withdraw it. Until you take that money in your bank and turn it into cash, you don't actually have it. However, the prosecution noted that this possible conflict of interest is not so severe and can be waived. Machinsky, who is currently out on bail, is also expected to have his Curcio hearing, where he must knowingly and intelligently waive his right to a conflict-free representation. So there you have it. More money, more problems. And we will see what happens with SBF, and we will be covering the case, and we will be covering what his sentencing is, and if he deserves it or not. But obviously, what he did is pretty awful, because I know if that was me, I'd be pretty mad. But it wasn't me, so I'm not that mad, but I do have a heart, and I do have empathy for people who went through this, because it really is not a good look for SBF.